Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about foundation. I told you guys a little while ago on my Instagram that I'd be testing like a plethora of foundations, and I wasn't kidding. I tested every single one of these. I made tons and tons of notes. I wanted to be able to like answer every single solitary question that you guys could possibly ask me regarding these products before I brought you this review. So today I'm going to be bringing you a review and comparison to a few different drugstore foundations and their comparable previous products. So for example, say you've been an avid user of Stay Matte product from Rimmel and you're wondering, well, how does that pair up to Rimmel's new foundation or their new product? Don't worry, we're going to cover all of that. Now, just to give you guys an idea of what kind of skin color I have, I'm typically Maybelline Fit Me 220, MAC NC30, or 54 in Kat Von D's foundation, that tattoo foundation one she has. I got 54 in that. So that's to compare. So now if you're wondering if you're any of those shades and you're wondering what color in the range of drugstore would I be, maybe that'll also help you too, because I'm going to be talking about so many different foundations and all of these fit me in terms of color. So that was all good. So let's start with the Rimmel London Lasting Finish 25-hour, the two products that I have here. Now I have the Lasting Finish with Comfort Serum. This is broad spectrum SPF 20 sunscreen. I got 200 soft beige, and this is Skin Perfecting Full Coverage Foundation. I also use the primer. I have to make a note, just in case you just pick up this product, when you first put it on, it feels a little bit soft. So here is the actual product for you. There you go. Now this is, like I said, this is 200 soft beige, and I'm going to swatch it for you. So as you can see, it's a pretty good match. Now when it came to this foundation, a lot of you warned me against it. You were like, no, it's not good, don't go for it. It wasn't my favorite. As you can see, even in my finger right here, it's starting to settle into the fine lines of my finger. You know, and once something starts settling into the fine lines of your finger, you know, that says a lot. Your face can have a lot more lines depending on age, so just imagine like how it's sinking in there. I did not like that. I had to buffer this into my face quite extensively with a brush and with a beauty blender, just to get it to kind of look okay. It never really settled down. That being said, when I applied it over the Lasting Finish primer, I didn't have so many problems. So what I suggest to you is that if you're having problems with the Rimmel London, by the way, the Rimmel London on its own, not full coverage, really faded rather quickly. I just overall was not a fan of it. The primer, while it doesn't make this product any more opaque, it's still quite, you know, not full coverage. You do get longer lasting wear, less fading, and less settling into the fine lines of the face. However, if you're making a promise on this product, don't have to, why make me purchase another product just to make these claims come true? So while you can, yes, purchase another product and have this product work for you, especially if you already have it, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to throw it out, you know, I could just buy the primer and then I'll go. So I really was not impressed with this. As you can see here, it's slightly setting now. You can see there's parts of it that are matte, some of it aren't. I typically set all of my foundation, so it doesn't matter what I wear, I'll put a powder on top of it. But when I did this test, I didn't put a powder on top of this just to see the wear, and it's just I felt my face. I felt it on my face. It felt a little bit greasy. In terms of comparison to, say, the Stay Matte line, which here we have Stay Matte Liquid Mousse Foundation in Ivory, which is a little bit of a thicker product. I just put a little bit up there, as you can see here. Sorry. And this was a much better product overall. This is a lighter color. I'm not actually Ivory, I'm a little bit darker than this, but I had bought Ivory. But as you can see, this has way more full coverage. And same thing with the primer. Both primers are really much on par, but this product really made it like, oh, if you use just this one product, you'll be fine. Now when it comes to the new Maybelline Fit Me Matte, Matte and Poreless, I was impressed, as I thought I would be, because I am a huge fan of the Maybelline Fit Me line, and 220 has been my go-to for a while. I know that it's comforting to know that I can go to the drugstore, find a color that fit me first try, and I've been sticking with it, and I've been really happy with it, and I use it. I'm not really a snob when it comes to foundation. Some people will use only high-end or only MAC. I love using my Maybelline. It lasts all day, etc. So when they came out with a matte and poreless for normal to oily skin, because I do have an oily like T-zone, I was very happy to try it. Now I do have to make some notes about these products, because you're wondering, like, you know, aside from the whole like matte and poreless thing, what's the difference between these two products? There are some shade differences. So if you are normally one shade in the regular Fit Me line, you might be a totally different shade in the matte and poreless line. So really do take caution when you buy. Let me just quickly compare up the liquid foundations for you, and then we'll take a look at the powder foundations, and then I'll tell you the exact differences within the formulas themselves. So the Matte Fit Me 220, the regular, is right here. So that's Fit Me 220 regular. And here's Fit Me 220 matte and poreless. So as you can see, slight color difference. Now both of these, as you can see, the first one's already set down to matte already. And that's not even the matte one. See it? Isn't that amazing? And it's not even advertised as matte. So that's good. So both of these products will dry down to a matte. They will stay on your face. They are opaque. As you can see, no settling. They're opaque. They cover up. As you can see, that Rimmel London is still wet. It's the only one in my hand that's like still wet at this point. They stay, they dry, they set, they're good. I do have to say that they don't move around on the face. They don't settle into fine lines. They blend out really well. You can use them with a primer, like you can prime your skin. You're supposed to, but you know, with this product, I don't. I use this product, I don't prime my skin, and I find it lasts all day, it doesn't fade. I take it off at the end of the day, and I'm taking off exactly the same amount that I put on 8 hours, 10 hours later. Now, I do like to set my product with a powder foundation. So even if it sets on itself, I like to have the extra benefit of setting with the Fit Me 220 powders. Now I do have the regular Fit Me powder, and I have the new matte and poreless powder, and there's key differences when it comes to the powder. Not so much, it's a slight color difference with the liquids, but when it comes to the powders, that's when you get a big significant difference. And I think you can see it right here while looking at the powders. This powder leaves a slight shimmer on your face, which I never even really noticed. I always thought, oh, it's just, you know, it's light capturing particles, makes you look good when you take a picture, if you're in the right light, blah, blah, blah. But it's actually a huge difference. This will make you look almost a little bit dewy without being wet. And I like that look. So, and I don't like having a moist face. I like having something matte. But this is going to be a pure matte, and this adds a lot more color to your face than this. This is a little bit more translucent. This is more for setting. This is like full on, like you're adding 2 layers of foundation. So you can start to look cakey if you apply this product, especially if you use both matte products, the matte poreless liquid and then the matte poreless powder. You're going to start to look a little bit cakey. I'm going to show you the differences in swatch. So there you go, you can see there's a difference here. This one's lighter, this one's more skin tone, this one blends out, eye-catching, light-catching, this is more just matte. Because of this slight shade difference, you might want to either go up a shade or down a shade depending on your color, because it might change the color of your skin on your face because of the way that it just reflects light. So be really cautious when you go to the store and you try this product. Again, very good. One of my favorites when testing all of these foundations. I was very happy with the Maybelline. Now, if you're interested in primer, I have the Master Primer, and this one is Blur and Illuminate. This adds just a little more illumination. I wouldn't suggest putting this underneath the matte and poreless because you'll never see it, but if you put this on your face and then you do a little bit of a light amount of the original Fit Me 220, or whatever color you are, your Fit Me, you'll be good. And if you put the powder on that catches the light, the original one, you're going to look very illuminated and dewy, but still dry. You know, you won't have a tacky feeling. I'm going to swatch this up for you. Kind of reminded me of the Revlon Skin Lights a little bit, except for, you know, it's a primer. So, a little bit light catching, just slightly. I also picked up the Master Conceal Camouflage Concealer, and this works wonders underneath the eye. It's full coverage. Hold on. That's even too much. Really only use a tiny drop. It's full coverage, and it's going to give you really, look at that, full coverage. Really nice, smooth, sets down, great for layering, doesn't feel heavy, doesn't settle into the lines of the face. Again, great for dark circles, blemishes, freckles, you name it. It's really good product. The next product I'm going to show you guys is from Revlon. We have the Photo Ready Airbrush Effect. This is their new foundation. And I have the shade 004 Nude. So here we go, I'll quickly put a little bit on my hand. There we go, nice. Now what I loved about this foundation is, you remember I was describing to you earlier about the Maybelline Fit Me 220 and how it has those light reflecting particles? This has that too. So if you're looking for a dewy look that's going to make you look phenomenal in pictures and the right light, you know, and other lights you won't notice, this is the one you want to go to. And I'm not doing justice here to it, I'm really not. You start to buffer out this product onto your face, there's almost a sparkle that's left behind. It's almost like a twilight sparkle. You glow, you're gonna look dewy, you're gonna look great with this if you're looking to have that glow. It adds a lot of youthfulness to your face. So if you're looking for something that's not necessarily like flat matte, but more dewy, shimmery, something, I really didn't expect this. It was unexpected. It wasn't really advertised as such, but yet it was just, it had it. When you buffer it out, you start to see it. When I used a beauty blender, I started to see it. The camera's not going to capture it. So next up is Loreal. Loreal is another brand that I've been a huge fan of in terms of foundation. Now my favorite one has been the L'Oreal Visible Lift Blur Foundation. Now this isn't particularly a new foundation, but it's just one that I've been using and I really like. Now it's more silicone based, so this is one of those products that will kind of slip and slide on your face a little bit. So if you're not used to this kind of product, you might not like it. This is one of those products where you only need a tiny drop. You do not need a lot. If you use a lot, you're going to be smearing it all over your face. It's going to be very uncomfortable. It's one of those products you only use a little bit. It's medium coverage. It gets your face in it and it fills in pores and fine lines. That being said, I've swatched this before, I believe. Here you go. And the shade for this one is 204 Creamy Natural. So 204 Creamy Natural works for me. I like it. Works well for me. I can feel it already. I feel a siliconeness between my fingers. So I decided to give the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte 24-Hour Foundation a try. Now, I really like this one too. Since I've tried all the foundations and I've done this test for you guys, I find myself gravitating towards the Maybelline Fit Me, the matte one, and I also find myself gravitating towards this. So these were my two favorite products, which were not a shock because prior to this I was gravitating towards those two brands anyway. But this product, as you can see, heavily used. Put a little bit there for you guys. So as you can see, the shades are pretty similar, and this one is 103 Natural Buff. Now this gets nice and matte, sets down, and it lasts all day. Whereas the Visible Lift, you might see a little bit of fading towards the end of the day just because it's more silicone based, but I always set my foundation, even the Visible Lift, with a powder. And the powder that I use is either the Fit Me powder from Maybelline or the Revlon powder. I tend to use the drugstore powders and I'm happy with it. Sometimes I also use a translucent powder depending on the look I'm going for. But this product, you can see it's already getting matte right now. Now I also picked up the Infallible Pro Matte and I got 200 Natural Beige, and I've actually been using this product also quite heavily since I've gotten it. I really like it. Here it is. It's almost a full coverage powder, which is quite nice, and it goes well over the actual foundation, liquid foundation. Nice setting. There's a little mirror. I lost the little sponge thing because I don't really use it. So overall, and then overall pretty good. I also picked up the this is not a foundation, but I figured worth mentioning, the Pro Set Spray. Found this really nice. It was kind of like Fix Plus from MAC, and it was a little bit expensive for drugstore, but really just a nice spray all over the face. Just keeps your makeup on all day long. So you get a nice little cooling mist all over your face and no touch-ups are needed. So I really like this stuff. It just stays on my face, keeps my makeup on, and you know what else it does? It helps to bring out highlight. And also I used it to fix glitter. It's not advertised to do this, but I sprayed a little bit in my hand and I dipped a brush into it and I fixed my glitter under my eye. And look at this. it's been on for 5 hours. So up close and personal with you guys. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my fashion/beauty blog and follow me on Instagram. I'm Recycled Stardust.